It's been a while, but we are back.
Yay!
This
I told you I'd
is
get him back.
yeah,
I told you I'd get him back here.
yeah. I've just been very busy with
I
work and
told you
oh,
I'd get
I'm
him
I'm
back.
getting feedback
I know,
somewhere.
I know, I know, I know, I know. Sorry,
Uh,
man. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm just. All right, done.
no, yeah, I've just been dealing with some stuff, work, and
Now it's gonna be a jerk for me. I'm sorry, man. Give me a second.
nah, it's all good.
Yeah, I've just been dealing with some stuff. Work. Mute my mic. Mute my mic.
All right, well, I muted James, so y'all don't get the feedback. But yeah, I've just been dealing with some stuff. Work and it's just been piling up and it's been a while, but we're gonna get back on it regularly. So we're gonna talk about you know the cap that's left, the ad Danny, all that money that's out there to spend, uh, the moves that these guys haven't been making the moves that they have made, just ridiculous things going on all around with this team. But we're back. This is the J&J Houston Sportscast. I'm John Fuentes with my co-host James Ray. First off, James, how's it going, man?
Ah, man, another day, another 50 cents, so to speak. I guess you could say. No, man, it's everything's going good. Just like most Texans fans, it's just like where we go from here, kind of thing, and it's kind of hurts, man, because we have an idea of what we want to do, or what fans would want, but dude, we just I don't know, man. I don't know,
So
man.
let's just basically run down what's happened since the last time, which has been a lot, but not too much because the offseason for a long stretch was pretty uneventful. The Texans franchised Clowney. Um, Honey Badger's gone, went to Baltimore. Kareem Jackson's gone, went to Denver. Yet we still have Jonathan Joseph on the roster, which boggles my mind, but it is what it is. The Texans have signed Bradley Roby, who I believe is probably going to do better for you in the slot than on the outside, if anything.
Didn't we do that with Aaron Coleman?
And then the Texans also signed Tashawn Gibson. And like it was mentioned in the chat earlier, 46 million cap left, and absolutely nothing is being done. All the big names that the Texans should have pursued, could have gotten, are gone. Yeah, Badger went. I'm sorry. Yeah, Honey Badger went to the Chiefs. I'm thinking of Earl Thomas, who went to the Ravens. Yeah, man, it's been an uneventful and disappointing offseason. I think we are a hell of a lot worse than we were last season at this point. Uh, Especially, well, only defensively. I don't think we've really lost or gained anything on the offensive side of the ball. But yeah, defensively, we've gotten a hell of a lot worse. I am very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't expect us to win more than 6 games next season at this point. I have to see what they do with the rest of the offseason. I have to see what they do in the draft. But just with how terrible Gain has been with free agency, I'm fully expecting him to completely screw up the draft. First round, I could easily see him going secondary at this point, when I think the bigger, more pressing issue should be the offensive line still. But yeah, so that's just my mini rant on it. James, what about you?
Yeah, so nothing that I haven't already said in our stream here at J&J Sports or South Sports that he had me on yesterday. It's just the same old stuff, man. We try and try and try to be as loyal fans as we possibly can, only for them to just sit there and shit in our faces. Now, I mean, that's just the bottom line. Danny brought something up. Sign Bryce, you assholes. Agreed. I agree. I don't know what they're waiting on for that. Personally, But I mean, there are available free agents out there that could help us with depth at best. I mean, we're obviously missing the starters. There are a couple guys on there that I'd probably give very little just to come in as a pass rushing specialist or whatever the case may be. With Covington's departure to Dallas, which is just salt in the fucking wound, if you ask me. We now have I don't know how they feel about it, but I'm pretty sure we now have a defensive line spot now that we got to fill.
Yeah.
Even though we signed 3, you can't rely on Joel Heath and Blackson and all these other again no-name guys that contribute very little to this team. Man, I just it all depends on how Rack runs them. Of course, Romeo Cornell is one of the biggest concerns we've got going into next season, so we don't even know how he's going to utilize that. The weapons he did have, he didn't utilize, and now he doesn't have those weapons. It's like, okay, well, now what is he going to do? As a Houston Texans fan, you have to be a little on edge right now. I know a lot of people are saying, that Shayshawn Gibson signing was a good one. At least put in a starting corner with Darby, but come on, man. Really, there's a reason why he wasn't retained, man. Just look at it like that. I mean, we essentially traded Darby for Jackson. That's how that works, because Kareem went to Denver, Darby came here. I mean, that's the one-on-one trade. Only the difference is they're free agents, and we got a better deal out of it. I'm not with the one-year prove-it deal shit. I understand why Gann is doing it, because he can get out from under it really easy. Smart move on that aspect, but as far as his other moves, he's been completely retarded. And I have some free agents that are left. If you want me to go ahead and go over them, John, just real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
And this is just the guys that are left. Just guys that, again, stopgap guys. Depth. We need depth right now. In light of Jadeveon Clowney possibly bouncing out of here and not coming back, which is a high probability at this particular point, you need to start looking at pass rushers like Shaquille Barrett. He played behind Von Miller most of his time in Denver, but as far as a one-on-one pass rusher that can win matchups, it would be a bargain signing. It's a good idea. It's a good idea to have him. Someone like I know this sucks because he's a former Patriot. Someone like Jamie Collins, man, never really developed into what everyone thought he was going to be. But he can play strong side. He can pass rush. He's 29. You could get a 2-year cheap deal out of him or a 1-year prove-it deal. The way Gaines seems to be going with his contracts, essentially. And you can, plug him in there. The only real corners that are left are Darquez Denard, Michigan State guy. Played with the Bengals for a while, but Tavon Young, he just got a 3-year, $27 million deal with the Ravens, which means he's about in Tavon Young's class, I would say, and he's mainly a slot corner anyways. So he would probably be looking for something similar, if not more, for that. And considering coming onto this team, he'd probably be the second best corner we got. Bryce Callahan, again, for whatever reason, he's not signed right now after the wave of signings. Morris Claiborne, less really enthusiastic about that pick, but he is from around our area. It makes sense. You can get him on a cheap deal. You need defensive back depth. Your defensive secondary right now sucks. It's just plain and simple. Let me get this straight. You'd rather retain J-Joe. I still don't understand that shit. You'd rather retain J-Joe and you take a stab at someone like Verrett or something like that. But Verrett, he just got signed by San Francisco. He didn't even make it to his Houston meeting. You got like Adrian Phillips. He was a Pro Bowler, but he's more of a linebacker safety kind of guy. Pretty much what Gibson is, essentially, if you really think about it. But I mean, there's not very many people, guys that are left that are in the top 100 that will kind of just blow your ass away. An honorable mention to me, honestly, will probably be Clay Matthews. I might take a stab at him. Again, if you're losing Clowney, you need pass rushers, bro. You need pass rushers and people that have played in this league and can play outside back or either strong or weak side. To me, Jamie Collins, Clay Matthews, Shaquille, they can all kind of help with the depth on that. Other than that, man, everyone's pretty much gone.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Cordell Patterson went to the Bears. I know you're probably happy about that. Randall Cobb is still out there if you're looking for a receiver, even though I think us looking for a receiver is stupid. I wouldn't mind talking to C.J. Anderson, quite frankly, just see what I can give him, and just in case, oh my God, I forgot his name. That's depressing. Running back. Dante
Foreman.
Oh my God, dude. It's that bad. It's that bad. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't actually have these fools, man.
But see, I wouldn't be opposed to a Golden Tate signing just for depth at receiver.
Golden Tate already signed.
Oh, well, awesome.
Yeah.
I see that Verrett was being mentioned in the chat, and I thought before we started that he was still free, but you mentioned to me he signed as well.
49ers. That's on NFL.com. Look it up.
And I'm sorry, not Golden Tate. Yep. You said Randall Cobb, right? It was Randall Cobb?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Randall Cobb. Michael Crabtree is still available. He's 31, but I mean, still, he could be a solid number 2 in case Fuller goes down, which seems to be inevitable every year.
I think I'd prefer Cobb over Crabtree, to be honest.
Yeah. Jonathan Hankins, he's a well-traveled, solid nose. The guy's it's like a Will Fuller type, or Vince Wilfork type. That's someone else you could look at. But other than that, that is about it. That's about it. I mean, if there's anyone that they signed that is not any of those names that I just mentioned, man, oh my God, bro. I don't understand.
Well, Danny, I think it was Danny, or let me see the name. Yeah, Danny Ezekiel Ansah.
Yeah, he's available, but he's liability. He's been injury prone his whole career.
Yeah, he had a lot of promise when he was first coming out.
Right. I wouldn't touch him, honestly. But let's see. Broly says we need depth at receiver. Man, look, bro. Let me explain this to you. Last year's wide receiver depth issue was a fluke. There is not going to be many years where you have 3 of your starting 5 receivers out. It just does. It's a very flukish. So no, receiver to me is not a damn priority. Especially with us losing what we're losing. You guys got to keep in mind, when we lose Jadeveon Clowney, we have to replace him. You have to go get a veteran starter to at least plug in as a backup role. Luckily, you retained Scarlett. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm very happy with that. But you still need other people, because that means you move Merciless back to the weak side, where he's been dominant his whole career. You can't tell because he's been playing strong side this whole damn time. Because of Clowney. Now Clowney's gone, here we are. Clowney's not coming back, guys. I can tell you that right now. You will not see Jadeveon Clowney in a Houston Texans uniform ever again.
Probably going to be another Le'Veon Bell situation.
It's exactly going to be a Le'Veon Bell situation. I guarantee that no one's going to pay him what he wants. Think about this. He has kind of a transition tag on right now. That means other teams can talk to him and offer what he's wanting. No one wants to sign it. It's not just Houston. It's everyone else. It's what I've been fucking telling you guys for 5 years about this guy. He thinks he's better than what he's worth. He wants to be the top paid guy. He doesn't want to be in the ballpark of Aaron Donald. Well, he wants to be in the ballpark of Aaron Donald and Khalil Mack, but he wants to be over them. He wants to be the highest paid defensive player in NFL history. Hence the problem. And then with Trey Flowers, 5-year, $90 million contract that he got, dude, are you kidding me? Dude, he's gonna ask for at least $20 million. I guarantee he's not under $20 million. If whatever team signs him, it's not going to be under $20 million. And what he's going to do is he's going to take that contract and he's going to go, oh, that's real cute. I'm going to go ahead and do what Le'Veon Bell did. Look what Le'Veon Bell did. He didn't play for a whole year, produced a rap album, and still got paid. Yeah, it was $20 million cheaper than what it was, but I think he got more guaranteed, which is why he did a cheaper deal. Yeah. So it's going to be the same thing, man. I don't think it has anything to do with guaranteed money. I literally think it has to do with 3 things actually: years, injury concerns, of course, on the Houston Texans side, and the amount of money per year. Not even the overall. I literally think it has to do with the amount per year. And here we are, man. Here we go, man. They don't want to play him. And here's the thing: whoever does pay for him is going to have to give us our picks, and no one's going to want to trade their picks away for Jadeveon Clowney unless someone gets absolutely desperate mid-season before the trade deadline. I'm telling you, man, you might as well just count Clowney out. Clowney's not here. Again, I keep saying this. Retire the number 8 and the number 90 from this franchise, and don't let anyone else wear it for the rest of the franchise history, because those numbers are cancer for this freaking franchise. I can't stand it. But we cannot do it. We can't do it. We can't even try to sign him to a big ass deal and trade him. Because if we do sign him that big deal, no one's going to take the trade. This is what John and I were talking about this whole freaking time about Clowney. You got to re-sign him now. If they would have re-signed him before the Khalil Mack deals and the Donald deals went down, this wouldn't be a conversation. This wouldn't be a conversation at all. We even advocated for that. But no, and here we are. They basically did exactly what they did with Mario Williams, and they didn't leave it alone. So, that's where we're at, man. So,
yeah, it's just a depressing situation all around. I mean, this organization, the front office, has really dug themselves into a deep hole right now. Yeah, Clowney 9 sacks compared to Aaron Donald's 20, and he wants Aaron Donald / Khalil Mack money. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get how the same mistakes can be made time after time after time after time after time. So yeah, I don't know. I'm about fed up with it at this point. I really don't expect anything positive out of these guys this offseason. The draft, especially given all the holes that you have to fill on defense now, I'm fully expecting them to go first-round defense, whether it's pass rush, whether it's secondary. I could even see them being dumb enough to go running back. But as far as free agents, I do agree with some of the guys in the chat about the receiver depth. I do think that you need to have receiver depth, because you got guys like Kiki, who have proven to be injury prone over the season. You got guys like Will Fuller, who, as much as I hate to admit, has proven to be very injury prone. So signing a guy like Randall Cobb, or hell, Jordy Nelson was a name that I saw out that just got cut. For the sake of having depth, I think you got to go ahead and pull the trigger on that. C.J. Anderson would be great to add as depth for running back.
yeah.
As far as offense is concerned right now, offense, to be honest, is fine. The issue with offense is play calling and the offensive line, which we've been saying for the longest time. But depth should be a concern when it comes to some of the guys you have in your offense that are injury prone. Defense, man, I mean, these guys have really put themselves in a pretty deep hole. I don't know. Mixed with Romeo Crennel at the helm, I'm not seeing. I don't have any high hopes for this defense next season. I really expect them to be the downfall of this team next season, unless they miraculously just pull something amazing off before the season starts.
Again, we have no faith. Neither John or myself have no faith in this coaching staff. Period.
Coaching staff or front office. I mean, this organization is being run like, I don't even know.
Do you think Cal McNair's pissed about this? Like what Gaines and O'Brien is doing? I'm just curious. What are your thoughts on that?
I would like to. So, okay, we know there have been rumors out there that Cal was pissed as far as O'Brien's performance, which I like, and I hope that's true. As far as Gaines, it's hard to say. I don't know how much of a football guy, Cal really is. If he's one of those guys that's reading online and seeing reviews from fans and stuff, it's not hard to see how disappointed the fan base is in this team right now. You look at the Facebook comments, the Instagram comments, the comments in this chat. Um, I mean, everyone's pretty fed up with how this team's being run. I wouldn't be surprised if Cal's considering selling. I honestly wouldn't.
I wouldn't either. Honestly.
So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. But I am, I don't want to sound like a super negative Nancy or anything, but I've been through seasons where this team has been below 500, where this team's been 2 and whatever. I think, honestly, this is probably the worst because you see how much potential is on this team and how we're just a few pieces away from being in the mix with the New England, with, the Rams, with the Chiefs, a few pieces away, and they're so obtainable. But you have guys running the show that are either just old school or have their head up their ass. And it's frustrating to watch because getting in the mix of the Final Four or the Super Bowl is very obtainable for this team right now. The management is just piss poor. Let me see. Brully asks, Ray, do you believe Watson has the talent to take an average team to the Super Bowl?
If he did, we would already saw it.
Yeah.
Let me put you that way.
Yeah.
Is he Aaron Rodgers? No. Because Aaron Rodgers had an average Packers team and took them to the Super Bowl. Let's be real. Aaron Rodgers seemingly does it every year with the Packers for the most part with very limited shit. So, no. I think he's got great talent. Don't get it twisted. I think him and Hopkins have a connection that's unmatched by anyone in the league. It goes without saying. I think he's got the talent. I think with the right coach, the right coaching, he could be someone that could take us to the next level. There's a reason they drafted him. It's for that reason. Everywhere he's been a winner, man. So you can't take that away from him, man. But in all honesty, I don't think he can take an average team, not because of him, but because he needs supporting players. Even at Clemson, he needed support. He had one of the best wide receiving corps in NCAA history.
Yeah.
Did you know that? You know that. You're a Clemson fan, John. You don't get that every day, man.
Nope.
And I'm not saying they made him better, but they have to. Receivers make quarterbacks better, and quarterbacks make receivers better. Yeah. It's a give-take relationship. I don't think Watson's bad. I don't. I think that man's special. I think he has a level of intangibles that you're blessed with it. You can't be coached it or anything like that. I do know this though. If he keeps getting laid on his ass, I'm telling you, you're going to see another David Carr situation. Here's a question that I was asked the other day, John. I want your opinion on this. Let's say nothing changes with this organization and Watson comes up on his contract year. Do you think they would pony up the $20+ million per year it'll take to retain him? Or do you think that he will get his ass thrashed so much he'll say, fuck this organization and go somewhere else?
Yep, that's exactly what I think. I think that the Texans will be more than willing to pay whatever they need to pay to keep him, but I just think he'll be fed up with what we'll talk about in a minute, with what I believe to be a losing culture in this team. But he'll get fed up with that, and he'll leave, and he'll want to go to a team where he feels he can actually win a Super Bowl. Now, I can't think of a team right now that has everything except a quarterback that he could probably take it. I would probably say the Ravens would probably be a good team for him to go to, as far as a team that doesn't have a quarterback who can probably take them all the way. I think the Ravens would be a good fit for him if he wanted to leave and have the potential to win a Super Bowl. You got a defense who's on the rise. The offense is pretty old school still, very similar to Houston, but a little bit more run-based. But now they have Mark Ingram, I believe, at running back. Of course, this is all speculation. Watson's locked in for a couple more years. So Yeah, I think he'd probably want to leave. But that brings me to something that I saw that absolutely it almost made me laugh to tears. This is from Texans Wire. Cornerback Bradley Roby chose Texans for their, quote, winning culture. There is a couple of terms I'd use to describe this team's culture. Winning would probably not even be close to
that's unbelievable, bro.
Yeah. I mean, obviously this guy's just saying something nice for a team that just signed him to a couple $1 million deal. I don't think he actually believes this team has a winning culture. Because let's be real. This guy was on the field when the Texans scraped a win over the Broncos. Not because we beat them. Because the Broncos missed a field goal at the end of the game that would have won them the game. That is why we won that game. He saw that. He was also, I'm sure, very in tune with the Texans' schedule that year, keeping an eye on them because he knew they were going to face them eventually. All those games we won on that winning streak were by a possession. They were all close games with the exception of maybe one or two. So, yeah, winning culture, I think that's the furthest word I can use to describe this team.
Sounds like Bill O'Brien already gave him his quote list for interviews. That's what that sounds like, and that's total ludicrous bullshit right there. That's just your ears should perk up and your spider sense should tingle when you hear something that outlandish come out of someone's mouth who wanted to come here. That fool, and he did want to come here. He had a 3-year offer from the Steelers.
Yep.
Let's not forget that. But,
well, to be fair, looking at the prospects between the Steelers and the Texans at this point, I think that they're probably around the same at this point right now. If not, the Texans are just a smidge ahead, potential-wise, of the Steelers.
Bro, I got a theory, man. I got a theory. Check this out. You're going to love this. I swear to God, if next year, if Jalen Ramsey hits the market and we sign him, it would be having the 2017 Jacksonville secondary.
Yeah.
Think about it. Minus Bouye. How ironic is that shit?
Yep.
How ironic is that? So that's what I come up with. I'm like, okay, so are we just trying to get Jacksonville secondary? Because that's what this seems like to me.
Yeah.
Colvin turned out to be worth the shit. My fear is Gibson's not going to be much better. And to perfectly honest with you, to say we increased our safety play by not re-signing Honey Badger and/or HaHa Clinton-Dix and/or Amos or any of that, the guys that were essentially available before they signed him, that's a joke. That's a joke. You cannot sit here and honestly tell me with Gibson we improved our secondary.
Yeah, no.
You can't.
I'm not expecting any major production from these guys this season.
What I found funny is the moment Eric Berry got cut, Houston fans started losing their shit. Oh, bring Eric Berry here. Bring Eric Berry here. I'm like, why would you bring Eric Berry here? That guy is he's over the hill, man.
Yeah.
Look, leadership, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to sound like a dick, but I don't want to have two guys that were and/or fought cancer or still fighting it and keeping it in recession on my safety squad. I understand that Rack likes to run a 3-safety deep kind of concept. I understand that, which, in all honesty, in a nickel position, will probably be Gibson, Hal, and Reed in the back as of right now. But, I mean, you cannot sit here and tell me that now we have a hole in safety that probably needs to be filled, quite frankly, in the draft. So now you lose Clowney, you lose Covington, who's pretty much a crucial piece of that rotational front, in my personal opinion. Joe Heath wasn't worth the shit, and Angelo Blackson was one of the first guys re-signed. Why? Central Harrison re-signed. Why? You have Darrell Williams sitting out there waiting to be signed. So what does Darrell Williams do? He signs a 1-year prove-it deal with the Panthers. That was someone that you could instantly plug in at your right tackle position. I'm sorry, I don't. The moves that are made from Brian Gaines are as if someone is if we were a franchise that was in cap purgatory. That's the best way I can describe it. By the way, newsflash: 70 to 80% of teams that come close to spending all of their cap, if not all of it, and they're in cap purgatory. 70-80% of those teams make it to the Super Bowl and/or playoffs. Just throwing that out there. The Indianapolis Colts, what they're doing is a fluke right now, in all honesty with you, because you don't have that much cap and then be able to have a team do it. They did last year. Let's just be honest. It was an anomaly. If they do it again this year, then I'll be impressed. Then I'll say whatever old Ballard's doing in Indianapolis is working. But at this point, that's kind of flukish, man, for them to have like $100 million in cash and still be contenders with picks, more or less. So it's like, oh man, I mean, you guys got to take it all. And it just, to me, everyone's concentrating on this offseason. I'm thinking about what these offseason moves are doing, not just next year, but in years to come. Years to come. So this time next year, we're going to be talking about another corner. What a shot. It's like the QB cornerback position switched. Every year we talked about a QB, we got one. Now we're going to talk about a corner until we actually get one. Now, if we draft one, great. But that's something I will bring up here in a little bit. It's one of my talking points I want to talk about as far as draft stuff. But, man, it's insane, man.
Ferocious Film says, could Christian Covington mean we are drafting Christian Wickens from Clemson? We were at their pro day, and at 23, he has a steal.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me.
It wouldn't either. It wouldn't shock me either. But I don't want them to go anywhere else other than offensive line.
I hate to say this, and I'm going with history to help to affirm what I'm saying. With the hole at safety, the hole at corner, and the hole at pass rusher and defensive line, do not be surprised if the first 3 picks are defensive picks.
Yep.
As sick and as stupid as that sounds, don't be shocked.
Yep.
Don't be shocked. You got to keep in mind, Bill O'Brien has the utmost respect for Henderson and really likes him as a player. He's big, he's long, he's physical, just can't stay healthy. Davenport, he's got this year to prove whether he can play left tackle or not. If he can't, guess what? DW4 is on his ass. Don't get me started. Do not get me started on Kids that Suck Ass or whatever that fool's name is. Kizamali or whatever the hell, whatever that fool's name is on our left side. He sucks. Martin looked less than spectacular last year, to be perfectly honest with you, but I think that contributes a lot to who he had beside him. You know what I mean? Like, we have holes on the offensive line, the corner, outside backer, safety, defensive line position versus corner, corner, the O-line, and maybe tight end, maybe running back. But now our list is just extended. Our list has gone beyond what it was when we started free agency. A lot of that has to do with what Brian Gaines is doing right now. And I told you I'll give him to the end of this offseason to make my final
evaluation.
I guess you could say evaluation on him. But as of right now, he's an F+ at best, man, because his not only are his signings stupid, make no damn sense other than he can get out from under them if for whatever reason. Let me put you this way. You're a player on a 1-year prove-it deal. That means that they don't trust your abilities, and they want you to prove it to them in 1 year. And if you don't, your ass gets canked. Do you know how much pressure that is on a player? Screw it being in the NFL. You know how much player that would be, how much pressure that would be on as just a worker? Let's say your job said, you know what, you got 1 year to do X, Y, Z, and you do X and Y, but you can't quite get Z, and then they let you go because you couldn't do it. That's a lot of pressure on a human being, on their soul, their mentality, their spirit, their physicality, their mentality, like all of it, dude. It's all encompassing. You got and I'm guilty of it too. We fall in love with certain players, and we forget that these people are human beings, and that you have to put yourself in their position. Yeah, they're making millions. No doubt. That's stupid to me too, but hey, it is what it is. That's where it's at. But it's still a job to them, and if they don't perform, they get cut. Now, if they had guaranteed money like Major league, like baseball or like basketball, whole different scenario guaranteed because if they get cut, they still get paid. Just like coaches when they get fired because they didn't meet expectations, they'll still get paid throughout their contract because it's guaranteed. How come coaches can get guaranteed money or pretty much their whole contract guaranteed and players can't? I mean, you got to take all that in perspective.
That's one thing, which is kind of shifting gears, but not really. It's kind of on the same subject about player pay. One thing that kind of I like, okay, this is a little bit of Astros. I like Alex Bregman. But when he started complaining about not feeling like he was wanted with not receiving the contract that he felt he deserved, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because you are making, I believe, the second largest contract that the Astros have ever issued out to someone that young. And you're saying that you feel like you weren't wanted. That's a little bit of a prima donna take on in my opinion. I mean, the reason he was clearly referencing the contract Correa was given when he was talking about that, but Correa, I believe, had like an amazing year that Bregman wasn't even near. So to compare the two is a little bit stupid.
Prima donna-ish, man. Look, I don't get paid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get paid. But if you sign a contract, man, fulfill your contract.
Yeah.
If you think you were worth more, then you shouldn't have signed the damn contract. You should fire your agent and get another one. Yeah, I mean, actions have consequences, ladies and germs, and if you do something and it's not to your liking or the way you don't like it or something happens and it has to do with your contract, guess what? Tough shit. Deal with it. It's your contract. Here's the thing.
Eric Villa brings up a good question. Do you think NFL players should get paid more than NBA players?
No. As a matter of fact, my take on professional athletes is they should not be getting paid any more than $5 million per year.
Really?
I know. I have many. Yeah, I do. I have my reasons for it. I know many people that don't entertain for a living but save lives.
Mm-hmm.
Go to 12 years of school on top of the 12 years, kindergarten, pre-K through 12, however you want to look at it. They went to school for 20 years and don't get paid nearly what these guys get. Yeah. Even the league minimum guys. That's for entertainment. That's just insane, man. That's to me. It's hard for me to see a heart surgeon making $250,000 a year, and then you see someone who's a bench player for the Astros making $550,000 per year, and then bitching about it.
Yeah.
Like you play a sport, bro. Like I understand you're there to entertain, but oh my God, man. It's ridiculous. And unfortunately, the market, sets the precedence on how much they get paid. If you make $1 billion and you got, 100 people that work under you, and obviously you want to divide it out evenly with a little extra for yourself as the owner and/or the owner of the product. I get that. It's basic business. It's business 101, right? But in the true reality of it is, man, these guys are paid to play a sport to entertain people for 4 to 5 hours tops, right? And they get paid millions of dollars a year. Millions of dollars a year. And they bitch about it. To me, I have a problem. There's one thing with being humble, but there's another thing with wanting to get paid. Look, I'm a big advocate. Get paid for what you want to get paid. I'm not saying, they want to pay you more than that. So be it, because the market's set at that. It's a market set. I get that. But to me, man, if I had the power of like all three and could it's either this or hit the road and go find something else or find a different league or whatever the case may be, I would put it at, I would have a benchmark and it would be solid across the board. I'm sorry.
See, I'd kind of disagree with that because my thought process is, okay, I understand people go to school for years upon years to become heart surgeons. But in reality, I would say more people could probably make the sacrifice of going through years and years of school and becoming a heart surgeon. There's more people out there who could do that than there are people who could be a power forward in the NBA or a quarterback in the NFL, because some guys are just genetically gifted. There are certain human beings who are just built differently. There are far fewer LeBron Jameses out there than there are heart surgeons. There just are. They are a rarity in the human race. There aren't that many people who can go out on a court and play professional basketball at an elite level. It's a small number. So you pay more to get that because it's more of a rarity. Like me, coming out of high school, if I wanted to dedicate, let's say, 10 to 15 years of my life to being a medical student and eventually becoming a surgeon, I could probably do that. Now, I could hit the weights every day. I could pump myself up with testosterone and do everything I wanted to do. I don't got shit on LeBron James on a basketball court, even doing all that. So, in my opinion, that's why they get paid more. Let me see. I'm trying to see what people are saying in the chat. Ray values education. They get paid millions of dollars to keep us distracted. Sorry, Ray, I would never agree to that. Athletes out in more. Put in more work and out their bodies on the line as well. I agree with Ray. Doctors go to no physical trauma to be a heart surgeon. Agree, wink. What is your point? No comment. Okay, I don't understand the last two. But yeah, that's just my point. I think like celebrities and like, let's not even say celebrities, like artists, like singers, like rock bands, they get paid more than your average teacher or your average heart surgeon because they're providing something that not many can do. It's talent. It's talent that you're born with or that you just somehow practice, and you become a master at it. And it's entertaining, and people want to pay for that. At the end of the day, like you said, you understand, it's a business.
It's a business, man. Market set.
It's a business.
I get it. And see, and that's just it.
See, D-Love, it's not just because they can dribble a ball. When you narrow it down to that, you make it so small. I mean... Okay,
hold on. But it's not because you went to school for so long. You know how intricate it is to be a heart surgeon, man? Many people... You know how intricate it is to be a heart surgeon? See, I could use the same argument against your argument. Because you have no idea. Because you think you know what it takes to do a triple bypass surgery with valve blast, you have no idea how to do that. I have a general idea, which is why I guess it's my point is skewed into the way of, no, not everyone can go to school and be a heart surgeon and be the best of heart surgeons. Like the top surgeons in the world barely make $1 million. Mm-hmm. Barely make $1 million. I'm talking about people saving lives, not entertaining people. I don't give a damn how strong they are, how fast they can hop, or how far they can run, or how far they can hit a ball. You know what? That's good, and that entertains me. Again, I understand the market's set, but you're coming from it because either you've played a sport and you kind of understand what it takes to master that sport, but you have no idea what it takes to be a doctor. And neither do I. No one, unless you're a doctor, no one really does. And that's kind of my point. The argument is not really, do they deserve it? They put in the work, man. And like we said, they put their bodies on the line. Dude, I'm not. That's not the debate. You're looking at this from a skewed point of view. Just because a surgeon's to go out there and throw his body on the line, he throws his career and his livelihood on the line. You know what happens when a doctor's or a heart patient dies on you on the slab because you fucked up and did something, slipped the scalpel a little bit left when you should have went right? Do you have any idea what that's like? No, and neither do I. But that's the point. No one does, and they don't get paid nearly what these fools get to play a sport that they probably grew playing and mastering their whole damn lives versus going to school and learning something that saves lives.
I agree with.
I'm not talking about it.
I agree with what you're saying.
I'm not talking about a general practitioner. I'm not talking about a dentist or an optometrist. I'm talking about like the people who are in the ER, trauma surgeons, those kind of guys. I'm not talking about the other ones, man.
I agree with what.
I can use the same thing.
I agree with what you're saying, but my thing is, and this is how I kind of look at everything in life as well as politics and life and all that. I get what you're saying, and I agree with you to an extent. Like, the level of importance, obviously, between a doctor and a sports star is, like, not even close.
You're comparing apples and oranges. The
Yeah.
same shape, just different
Yeah.
flavors, different colors.
But I
get it.
think of everything from a financial business perspective. That's just how my brain is wired. When I look at things,
Right.
that's how I look at things. So
Right.
I'm not saying it's easy to be a heart surgeon. Obviously, it's not. However, if you were to compare the numbers, I'm pretty sure there are more people out there who could, not saying it's easy, but there are more people out there who could be a heart surgeon than that could be a professional athlete. Just because, like I said, being a professional athlete is something you have to be, to an extent, you have to be born with certain genetic gifts to do that. Someone asked, I think it was Bro Lee, about the Kardashians. Of course, I don't think the Kardashians deserve to be paid more than a heart surgeon. But
they entertain you.
Exactly. But from a business perspective, sponsors will throw millions at them to wear their stuff because they know that they'll be a huge influence and it'll increase sales and this and that. This is a money-driven world. That's not going to change, ever. So I don't like looking at things from a morale perspective when it comes to something like this, because while we all know that a surgeon's job is much more important than a Kylie Jenner or LeBron James or anything like that, that's not even a question. But when we're asking why are these guys getting paid more than teachers, why are these guys getting paid more than surgeons?
It's how you question it versus
exactly
the actual.
I don't think we disagree. I don't think we disagree on anything on this subject.
No.
It's just I think we disagree on how we're hearing what questions being asked.
Right. Exactly.
Obviously, the job of a heart surgeon and a brain surgeon and all doctors and people who save lives, teachers even, because they're shaping the minds of tomorrow's leaders, is more important than a sports star or a Kim Kardashian. But from a business perspective, they will get paid more, and that is never going to change because people are going to pay to use those people as advertisement and increase television ratings or whatever more than what they'd pay a doctor. I mean, the only doctors that you're going to see make it out big are guys like Dr. Oz who have a daytime TV show.
Oh, yeah.
That's all you're
getting. But in entertainment,
exactly.
It's the market.
Exactly.
So that makes sense. Hey, I want to address this comment real quick, man, from Dylan Tyrell. So should the people who build bridges get paid millions because one fuck yo, they could kill a whole lot of people depending on how many people are on it when it collapses?
Wait,
okay,
what comment is that? I'm trying to find it. Who said that?
It's right above when I said thank you, Tinny. It's Dylan Tyrell. Basically, he's talking about, should people who get build bridges get paid millions of dollars because you rely on that bridge to to travel over it, and if it's not right, you'll die, right? So he's trying to illustrate the importance of trying to put a bridge builder in the same category as a heart surgeon, which, I guess you could, in a sense, if you really wanted to take it in that context. But to me, it's just you're comparing, like I was comparing a heart surgeon to a sportsman. You're comparing a heart surgeon to a bridge builder. It's apples and oranges, same shape, different, kind of different sizes, different textures, different taste. It's kind of the same. It's the same thing. Because then I could come back with you and say, why not? Why not? Because you do rely on that, and if it does collapse, I see what he's saying. I see what he's saying. I guess this is just I'm coming at it from a context of a matter of importance in life. Versus
which is not even a conversation, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
But people will try to make that argument that, especially people who are big fans. I mean, I'm a big sports fan, but to me, quality of life is more important than, sports, unfortunately. Some people may view it differently. Some people may view it the other way around, like, for example, video gamers or people who do, like, YouTube gaming sessions or whatnot. That is their livelihood. You know what I mean? So one would say, well, how come they get paid millions of dollars too? If you're a top YouTuber, like I think one guy's name's like Manos or something like that.
Ninja.
Dude, that guy gets paid yeah, dude, he gets paid like $12 million a year to make YouTube videos, and I'm sure he does his work and he puts his heart and soul and sweat and tears into it. But that's what the market is. The entertainment market it's a sad part of our reality. And I'm taking it in the context of, I guess I'm taking it a little more serious than I probably should. It's just life and death. But at the same time, what's pertinent? What can I live without? What can I not live without? And who should get paid more? And that's the context of it. The market is not even an argument, because John is absolutely right. If the market is X, Y, Z, whoever is supplying the entertainment in that product should get X, Y, and Z. And that's where we're at as far as the sports entertainment. I mean, you have to think about it. It has been nothing but a steady increase because sports entertainment has increased over the years. I mean, you go take a guy from 1970 playing center, he's getting $500,000, and that was a high salary. Nowadays, if you're not making $12 million per year, based on the market, because they get paid billions of dollars and they deserve their chunk too, because it's their name and like Wink said, their bodies are on the line. I get that. I'm not saying that's not right. I look at it from more of a, I guess, philosophical life-death situation versus a entertainment versus reality situation, because that's the disparity. It's entertainment, it's reality, and that's, I guess that's just my answer on that. So, and not everyone's gonna agree. It's just we agree, disagree. It's cool.
Here's another interesting one that I was thinking of. Take morale out, take business out, take numbers out. Based on difficulty of the job, take out what they do for ratings, whatever. Which athletes in which sport do you think should be paid the most?
Football players, hands down.
Even putting them up next.
Followed closely by hockey players, bro. Those guys, you look, man. You've played football. You know what I'm talking about. For those who are watching this, never played football, never played a snap in your life, man. There is so much going on physically that mentally it's hard for your mind to catch up. That's why you have such gifted athletic freaks out there, that just can't play the game because you just mentally can't handle it because they're so focused on the physical aspect of it. And that's kind of the point. It's one without the other. The ones that are balanced or that can learn to balance it and be good at whatever it is they do tend to be, more successful at it than people who tend to be a specific driven kind of person. I'll give you an example. Great example. Jadeveon Clowney. No doubt he's a game breaker. No doubt that man can stuff the run like no one's business, like I've never seen before. And includes JJ. I don't like Clowney, and keeping my bias out of it, I will be honest with you. As a pass rusher, he's above average at best. At best, you're not going to get paid $20 million per year because you can only do one thing really good and not the other thing. Especially when you have such high expectations going into your career. Now, we can have an argument about expectations versus a career and how that can affect. That's not the question. The question is real simple. He does one thing really well. He does another thing about average, a little above average. So you're not going to pay him as much. You know what I'm saying? Okay, think of it this way. It's not, and it's like I said earlier. The Texans are not only paying him that, but people have the right to talk to Clowney, right? People don't want to give up their future picks for a guy who only does one or two things right versus all four. I mean, and I'm not, of course, there's more than that. I'm just hypothetical, okay? I'm just giving you an example. So no one's offering him shit. No one. So what do? If you're Clowney, well, fuck everyone. I'm going to sit out. You see what I'm again, the actions have consequences, man. I guess that's the best way I can put it. It's just, it all depends on the market value. It all depends on what you're doing. And to me, football athletes and hockey guys put their bodies constantly on the line. Baseball players, you're not doing a lot of contact interactive. Don't get me wrong. There's chance in it. You get hit with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball in the head, you'll find out real quick how fast that shit'll turn. You know what I mean? A line drive back at you with top spin. If you go to put your glove right here and it does this nice little sinker action to your nuts and say bye-bye to your balls, trust me, that's happened. That shit hurts like a mo, man. But I'm just saying, as far as the I mean, look at it this way: boxers get paid how much money? Because you're beating each other's brains.
That's what I was
going to
say. That's what I was going to say. I think that it should be boxers and MMA fighters that get paid the most. Because you're going in – first off, take the fight out of it. You're cutting weight. You're sucking yourself of all – like you're dehydrating yourself. Unhealthy weight cut. I mean, weight cutting is not healthy. Look at high school wrestling if you don't believe me. Those guys – I mean, I'm around wrestlers all the time
the full rain suits in the sauna.
Exactly. Yeah, that is not healthy whatsoever. People have almost died cutting weight several times. Hospitalized. Fights have been canceled several times because of it. And then you get into the ring or the octagon, and you're literally unarmed combat trying to smash each other's face with knees and elbows and punches. And the only thing that you have in there as far as protection are 4-ounce gloves on your hands. 4-ounce gloves, you might as well take off the gloves. It's practically nothing. Boxers, same thing. Although I don't believe that the physical repercussions are as bad as MMA. I would put them right at number 2, followed by football, because CTE, head trauma, those 3 sports right there, and hockey, like you said, 4th. Are number 1 where you're going to get those sports. I mean, where you're going to get those injuries. So I would say yeah.
I don't know. Got a lot of questions here, man.
Boxing is a big scam. Let me see. You pick up weight and dramatic rate in a 24-hour period. I got head trauma. That's bullshit, John. Let me see. Wait, what's bullshit? I don't know what you're trying to say. You pick up weight and a dramatic rate in a 24-hour period after a weigh-in. What's BS? Third Coast. I don't know what you're saying. Boxer get fucked up. I'm sparring. Fuck. Hang on. Another moderator just handled this. Boxers are getting fucked up. I'm sparring in the fight and the fight itself. Are you trying to say that boxing is more detrimental than MMA? Because there's no way we're ever going to agree on that. In MMA, not only are you taking... First off, boxers' gloves are far more padded than MMA. Then you have knees are allowed, elbows are allowed. You're taking out... I'm saying when you say boxers don't have the same risk. No. I'm not saying they don't have the same. They obviously do. They're both getting punched in the face.
Shit. That would be
but the risk is higher in MMA. That's the argument I'm trying to make. That the risk is higher in MMA. Not that there isn't a risk.
Look, so I'll give you a layman's perspective. Like, I've never boxed before in my life, and I've never done any mixed martial arts. I've only been in like 4 fights in my life, and they all ended pretty quickly because I usually got my hands on them. It's real simple. I look at this from someone who knows nothing about boxing and nothing about MMA. If I watch 2 different fights, you find your bloodiest MMA fight and your bloodiest boxing fight, and I gotta tell you, man, I gotta say, MMA looks like it's got the nod over boxing. As a layman, that's just someone who doesn't know. So, and again, it's not saying that boxing is not dangerous. That's not even. I mean, because them dudes. I mean, yeah. Shoot, look at Muhammad Ali, bro. Like, you know, I'm just saying, man, the greatest of all time, and he kicked a lot of people's asses. But look at the effects it had on them.
I'm okay. They're saying. Okay, not they. One person said I don't know what I'm talking about. I've been covering boxing and MMA for several years. That this is my job. My job is to watch this sport week after week. If you have, you're going to tell me that boxing, where you have one aspect of fighting, yes, I understand the punching power is different and all that, but I'm saying the risk is higher because when you get on the ground, you are going to have a man on top of you bludgeoning you in the face with elbows, kneeing you in the body,
snapping a wrist, breaking a leg,
kneeing you in the face. Jiu-jitsu, you get choked out. Your brain literally shuts off from lack of oxygen to your brain. The risks in MMA are far more detrimental than in boxing. I'm not saying that boxing doesn't have risk. It 100% does. And it 100% is terrible risk. Look at guys now who have been fighting for years and years who are now on commentary duties. They talk slow. Their words are all fumbled. I mean, they're clearly suffering from something.
They sound drunk.
Exactly. But in boxing,
maybe
you
they
have
are.
one target. In MMA, you have several. I understand this. But the effects of the several targets outweigh the most. And to be honest, I can't even... The sport is still in its infancy of MMA. MMA started on a grand scale about 20 years ago. So you're going to have to wait maybe another 10 to 20 to see the real effects of the older guys. You already got guys like Wanderlei Silva who are dealing with things right now from CTE. He has I think 5 of the 7 symptoms of major CTE. They both have the same effects. Wait, I could beat up Mike TPH. He's talking about Mike Tyson. So do boxers. Both have the same effects. One doesn't outweigh the other. Outweigh the other. I have to disagree with you. I think
I do too. To me, again, as a layman, there's a difference between worrying about just your head and your stomach, your ribs, maybe your kidneys, versus your whole body.
Not to mention, MMA fighters fight much more frequently than boxers do. Much more frequently.
So I don't know anything about that.
Then you have a weight cut. Let's look at the champions. You got Tyron Woodley, who I know just lost, but let's use him as an example. Tyron Woodley fights maybe 3 to 4 times a year. And then you have Canelo Alvarez, who fights maybe twice a year. Now, Canelo fights a little more close to his natural weight. Tyron Woodley cuts down from walking around at maybe plus 200 to 170 pounds on fight night. The day before the fight. Then he hydrates back up the day after to fight. So, I believe, this is my opinion, if you disagree, that's fine. But I believe that competing in MMA over a long period of time is much more taxing on your health, your overall health, than boxing.
Wink, can you name me a boxer that got their leg snapped? that if you can name me one, if that's a frequent occurrence in boxing, then I would agree with you. But until then, until I can see,
I'm not just talking about brain trauma, by the way. I'm talking about overall health.
I'm talking about the whole physical aspect of it. Look, I'm not, and again, a layman. I don't know shit when it comes to MMA and boxing or any of that crap. All I can, from the layman, I don't know. To me, about someone on the ground taking someone's knee or leg and snapping that shit is a little more difficult, a little more taxing on the body than just going like this and blocking whatever you block. And again, layman, don't know shit, don't know about it. I'm just, again, take just my layman, not knowing ass perspective and do it.
Wink said he snapped his leg boxing.
I can't wait. Shut the fuck.
But yeah, no, Spence and Garcia this weekend, like you mentioned earlier, I cannot fucking wait for that fight. It's gonna be an awesome fucking fight. But yeah, man, that's how I feel. We got off on a bit of a tangent. Jesus, we started talking about the Texans and we got all the way here.
Hey, bro, will you repeat, because we have more people in here now, what you said earlier about what Darby said about the Texans organization?
What I said?
Yeah, what he said about wanting to come to Houston.
Oh, okay.
Dude, Wink, and all the other guys from the round
table. I want to see how they feel about this.
Y'all gotta listen to this, bro.
Okay. Cornerback Bradley Roby, he says he chose the Texans for their winning culture. Winning culture. Now, like I said earlier, there are several words I would use to describe the culture of this football team. Winning is not one of them. It's not even close on the list. So let me know in the comments how you guys feel about that, because winning culture is an absolute joke. Now, I'm not going to take this super serious because, like I said, this guy just got signed to a, $10 million deal for a year?
For 1 year, yeah.
So he's obviously just going to say something nice about the organization that just paid him. So I'm not taking that too seriously. But as far as naming this team, calling this team winning culture, yeah, I'm not down with that. Robbie is trash. And what winning culture?
Exactly, dude. That's why it's so funny. It's like, come on, man. And I told John, I was like, it sounds like he's got Bill O'Brien's interview playbook already memorized.
It sounds like he might be suffering. It sounds like he might be suffering from CTE.
Yeah, man.
Our culture did change once Deshaun got here. It did. It got better. I'll admit that, but nowhere near a winning culture quite yet.
Yeah. No, and I'm not talking about the offense. Deshaun and D-Hop pretty much single-handedly, well, we can't, I guess it's not single-handedly if they both did it. I think those two guys pretty much reinvented the offense and has the offense in the right direction. As far as the defense goes,
Dylan says if he says shit culture, he ain't going to play. I don't even think that's the case. You just paid the man $10 million for 1 year. He's going to play.
Yeah, not only that, bro, but you don't have anyone else.
Who else are you going to throw out there? Let someone else out there. At this point, let Rat go out there and play cornerback. Facts, wink. He chose the Texans because after you play here, you go to the Super Bowl.
Jesus.
Who said that?
That's
Mark.
Depressing.
Mark,
Bro,
I've never even seen you in here. You win comment of the year.
That was awesome, and that's depressing, but there's probably a lot of validity in that.
If it wasn't for 10-4, this team is easily a 3. Yep.
Yeah. Agreed. Because you see what happens on the rare occasion when they shut down number 10.
Yeah.
I mean, someone asked me earlier week if I think Deshaun will be able to take an average team, to the promised land, and my answer is no. I don't think he can, or else he would have done it this last season.
Here's
an average team.
Here's a good one. People are saying in the chat that Tyron is overrated.
Huh?
Yeah, the Honey Badger. People in the chat saying he's overrated. Wink just said he's ass. But people have been saying that.
But okay, how about this? Well, let's do it this way, man. Like, what did he actually contribute this year? Like, what big play did he actually make? Like, answer me that. So, sitting back and thinking about this, realistically, other than his leadership skills, he caused more big plays than he made plays. So, if you're going by results, one could argue that. Honestly.
I think I saw a stat comparing him, Gibson, and Earl Thomas. And I think Gibson had the most turnovers of the two for the past several seasons. Now, I would attribute that to Jacksonville's defense and the help he has over there.
So this is a great segue into what I want to put. I really think that Brian Gaines is trying to do a Jeff Lunau, and he's going analytical. I think all his moves make sense from an analytical standpoint if you look at it, which means that's what he's doing. He's going by analytics and what Bill O'Brien wants. And unfortunately, that is depressing because his moves make no sense other than that way. That's the only viable explanation that he could give other than that. If you think about it, what does he say? He wants bigger, faster, longer. So, what did he go do? How big is he? 5'11", 6 foot. He goes and gets a 6 foot guy who ran a 4.3 40 who's supposedly fast on a 1 year prove it deal. Then he goes and gets a safety that is supposedly more of a coverage safety than an in the box safety, which makes no sense because we play more in the box safety than we make whatever. Anyways, I digress. But I mean, it doesn't make sense from a X's and O's kind of perspective, but it makes perfect sense from an analytical perspective. And unfortunately, ladies and germs, I think that's exactly what's going on here. Is we're seeing the analytics slowly inch its way into football heaven even more and more every single year. And unfortunately, our coach and GM are big analytical guys, believe it or
not. Okay, we've been on stream for a little over an hour now, so we'll take questions, at this point, and then we'll call it. And then I think we're gonna shoot for a Sunday return if that works for Ray. So questions in the chat. Let us know what you want to talk about. We'll talk about it, and then we're gonna head on out.
Real quick, John, your perspective on Bryce Harper getting that stupid contract from the Phillies.
Okay. If he was holding out for that, I am so glad the Astros did not sign him. That was the stupidest thing. Look, okay, fine. If he goes out and he has the most spectacular career and he lives up to it, fine. but he's not going to. I promise you, because he's not even the best player in baseball, and you gave him a gigantic deal like that. Not to mention that deal is going to change completely change the market for the MLB moving forward. Completely change the market for them moving forward.
Because what do you think Garrett Cole's going to ask for next year, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
He's going to ask for a shit ton of money. And Justin Verlander has been Twitter happy on how owners are screwing over players, so he's going to want to ask for a whole shit ton of money too. There's a great possibility we lose both next season.
Harper is a Philly for life. I believe that there's a no-trade clause in his deal for the entirety of it. So
he's from Philly, by the way.
Yeah.
Guys.
So
he's from Philly. As a matter of fact, he's trying to recruit Mike Trout to go to Philadelphia, as a matter of fact.
Wink asks, would you trade Nick Martin?
No, two reasons. One, I don't think his play is a direct result of him. I think it's more of a result of who's around him. And Wink, you all people should know that. And two, in all honesty, I have no continuity on my offensive line as is, and he is the only continuity piece that we have, and I do not want to trade that at this particular moment. Now, if a trade comes up that presents itself that's something pretty good, considering we have Mance that could back him up, I might entertain it. But my initial reaction is no.
Oh, sorry, that was a different. Wait, would you trade Nick Martin? Yeah, you did. He said I didn't ask that, but he did. Okay, that's fine. Would you draft Eric McCoy to be the future center?
If he's there in the second round and we've addressed our other issues, I'm talking about the latest second round, well, the 54th, not the 53rd, then yes, I would, but I need to see how the board falls. So if the board falls the way I think it's going to fall with all these mock draft simulations I'm doing, I might take a stab at him at center, maybe. But
Wink, are you ribbing me? It says on my chat that Third Coast Sports TV asked, "Would you trade Nick Martin?" Am I crazy?
No, that's exactly what it says on mine too.
Why is he saying he didn't ask that? It says on my chat that he's the one that asked it. Okay, anyway, I'm not gonna get on that forever. Mark asks, should we trade Clowney since we know the front office won't pay him? I don't think you're going to find a trade partner at this point.
Oh, wait, did your profile get copied, bro? Is that what that is?
A dude is perpetrating.
Yeah, he sure the hell is, man.
Wow.
It's the same letter. It's the same name, bro. I don't know, man. That's messed up, bro. Wow, man. Anyways, you got any other questions? Wink, you have to figure that out on me.
I think people, other teams are going to be expecting Clowney to eventually walk, and they'll just get to sign him without having to give anything up. So I don't think you'll probably find a trade partner for him. I don't know.
Berkeley Boss, he lived in Vegas for a little bit. From what I understand, is that he's actually from the Pennsylvania, Philadelphia area. To answer your question, well, it wasn't really a question; it was more of a statement. But
I have a question. Where can we buy the J&J beanie?
Gee, that's Danny, isn't it? That's Danny, right?
Yeah.
No, Danny, we're done with you. I'm done. Do you think the Astros will trade for another starting pitcher at the deadline, or will Wheatley be the rotation at point? Okay, the only reason Forrest Wheatley's not on the roster now and was sent down is literally just to extend his contract. That's it. It's all political bullshit. Wheatley has no business being in AAA. None.
Yep.
That man's
he's ready.
Electric, dude.
He's ready.
He is ready. It didn't even take him a full season to be ready. That man is ready. He's probably one of the few guys right out of high school that was ready right out of high school. If you want my honest opinion, that guy, I watched every spring training game this guy pitched, in every inning and every pitch he threw. This guy's stuff is nasty. He is a baller, and the fact that they put him down was literally just so they could avoid arbitration for another 2 years. That's all it was. That's all it was. Nothing more than that.
We got 23 people in here and only 7 likes. We can do better than that, boys.
Yeah, come on, y'all trying to get us kicked, man. For real.
Let me see. Message retracted. Okay, yeah, that was the Jonathan Joseph one. Okay, someone said Jonathan Joseph should sign a 2-year, $10 million deal with us. But that was the Wink. That was the fake Wink account, I think.
Did Jay Dizzle hit that up? Jay Dizzle, go ahead and remember the account that is.
Now he's saying like the beard, like the stream, and I'll shave my beard. Oh man. I'm the real Wink, aka Albert Davis. So the other dude just a dick rider at this point.
Would you trade Clowney for Le'Veon on that cheap ass contract? God, no. guys, man, I addressed this Le'Veon thing the other day, man. To me, it amazes me the amount of people that thought Le'Veon Bell would come to this team and make them an instant Super Bowl contender. I don't understand that. I don't get that. There's so many red flags with him and behind a suspect offensive line, bro. I mean, the contract he got was relatively cheap. He got more guaranteed, but still, he hasn't played football in a year, man. We don't even know what's going to happen with that guy. Anyway, I don't know. So, no, the answer is no, I would not.
Wink is Tyron, actually. Timmy for GM. Sticky is bashing the shit out of Tyron in his stream. Yeah, man. This team, man, it's hard. It's hard being a Texans fan. On the contrary, I'll keep annoying you guys with this. My Bears are making some moves. Okay.
Oh God, you and your damn Bears.
Clinton Dix and Cordell Patterson. With Nagy. Oh boy, it is going to be a fun time in Chi-Town. Let me tell you. That Eagles game was a fluke. The Bears will be back bigger and stronger next season. Super Bears, Super Bowl. Mark it right now. Haha was asked with Skins, but he's not with the Skins anymore. He's with my Bears. My Bears are making some moves, but is this a Bears channel? It is what I want it to be.
No.
What's up, Bears?
No. I reserve all rights.
I am changing the name of this stream right now to the Houston Chicago Sportscast. Do you think Tyron thought Arrowhead Stadium was in Kansas?
The Jets aren't a championship team, or do you think they are? No, I think the Jets are a long way from being anything, to be honest with you.
CJ Mosley and him aren't enough. There's not enough.
I mean, Darnold could, take a next step, but I don't think he's. I think he's a ways from that, honestly.
All right, I think we're gonna wind it down there. Did you have anything you wanted to plug before we head on out?
Actually. Yeah, man, I do. I said this on Harsha Stream. I'll say it on ours, man, because I haven't said anything yet. But John, you don't actually even know this yet, man. My wife is an official author.
Whoa!
She made a book, dude. We got the first hard paperback cover. It's kind of like the pre-printed page, but there it is, man. God's Love Language by April Ray, dude. It's unbelievable, man.
That is insane.
I'm so proud of her, man. She did a lot of research, man, and it's available on Amazon if any of you guys are into that kind of thing. And man, it's incredible, man. So it's official, it's legit. You see it, paper bound, man. There it is, all right there, good to go. 250 pages. So she studied her butt off, but she did really well on it, man. I'm very proud of her, and I always want to give her some shine on that. So
where can we buy the book?
You can buy it's on pre-order at Amazon right now. Be available March 15th.
It should be available for print tomorrow.
It should be available for print for tomorrow, maybe, possibly. It just depends. Just say the 15th, just to cover it, or tomorrow the 15th. I would say the 16th to cover it, but you can go on Amazon.com and find it. Where else can they find it at?
They can go to any major bookstore and request it.
Any major bookstore and request it, so like a Barnes & Noble or something like that. Actually, even a public library, probably.
Or Family Christian Bookstore.
If those even exist anymore. Jesus. But I'm just saying, I'm very proud of her. It's a incredible feat. No one can take that from her. The words are printed and they're out in the ether. So yeah, it's a pretty decent book. I think John, she's gonna send you one. So
okay.
yeah, along with a hat, and we're working on that.
Awesome.
Yeah, so J&J Houston Sportscast, I have a logo that I've been dabbling in. I'm going to go with John. And we have some things coming up on the channel that we're going to kind of make it a little bit better. And we're going to try to stream a little bit more. It's been kind of crazy between John's schedule and my schedule. A lot of personal things going on. So we haven't done much of anything. We're also still selling the hemp pork stuff. If you want to go check that out, you can go do that too. Any questions, you can always request a message, or you can just ask my people.
Also, I would like to ask Wink, since he's in here, please hit me up. I've been trying to get a hold of you on social media to try and collab with you for quite some time now. So if I can get in touch with you, that'd be awesome. As far as the J&J line goes, still working on it. That is not an easy thing to pull off, let me tell you. But I am trying. We are looking into it. So yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we got going on, man. So other than that, man, we appreciate you guys for coming out. Your time is precious, and we appreciate you spending it with us. We're sorry again for the amount of time it's been between videos with John and I. Again, we're going to get more on a schedule as time moves forward, but for the most part, we're just trying to find our schedule to match. And like any other club, it kind of takes time. So we'll have some other stuff going on. I'm going to probably do another video either today or tomorrow by myself on draft prospects, as far as like a mock draft live simulator kind of thing. Just do it live while I'm on the air, and just kind of show you guys what I think may happen. Just kind of answer any questions about prospects. I don't know every prospect, but I know a majority of them, in particular the offensive and defensive line. And so I would just be on the lookout for that. Come swing through, and I guess that's all I got.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. This has been awesome. It's been awesome being back. We are going to try and come back on Sunday and do another one. So with that being said, we will see you guys this weekend. Thanks.
Later on.